go out and sign what I believe, and we believe, was the best free agent pitcher in the market today. This hard work started out really with the willingness of our ownership group, from Fred Wilpon and Jeff Wilpon, assisting and allowing myself and my staff to be able to do this kind of signing. It's just, and I say this, it was a group effort from my staff. I want to thank everybody from Tony Bernazar, from John Rico, from Jim Duquette, Gary LaRock, Sandy Johnson, and the others that we have. We all worked hard at this. We all believed that bringing Pedro Martinez on board was not only about signing what we think, and possibly from a statistical standpoint, one of the best pitchers in the history of baseball when you look at his stats. But it's more than bringing a guy on board that has a great history of winning and hopefully will continue to be the pitcher and continue to win. But the main thing is that we got a guy that, in our opinion, in my opinion, transcends wins and losses. He transcends that for us, okay? We are trying to build a championship team here. And to build a championship team for me, okay, it's not only about free agents. It's about bringing players from within the system. We today made a statement in the marketplace, not only in the major league players that have called me since the signing and say, hey, I want to be a Met. I want to be a Met. Major league superstar players that are free agents with other clubs. But it's also important to me, that kid that we don't know about, that Pedro Martinez that you don't know about, I don't know about, okay, that might be in the marketplace down in the Dominican Republic of Venezuela. That kid's father and that kid, you know what he wants to be today? He wants to be a Met. That's the value of Pedro Martinez. In my opinion, I didn't think no other free agent in the marketplace had that value within pitching, but also transcending what he means to us 5 years from now, 10 years from now. Because someday there will be a young pitcher in the major leagues pitching for the Mets, and that kid is going to come. He wanted to be a Met because of this signing. 3 years, 4 years, what is the value of that? That's the big picture. I will not be in the box. I'm trying to think outside the box. And being outside the box is transcending what a signing does. I just want to say that's the thinking, that's the logic, that's the plan. Pedro, thank you for coming to New York. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention some of the people in the staff. You know, from Tim Gunkel, guys that you guys don't know about, okay? From Tina Buccarelli, from Lenore Colon. This was a team effort. This was a we effort from top to bottom. When we got you that tape, Pedro, all these people pushed and did everything they can to get you on board. We had to sell you on it. I know you come from a championship team. I know there were other teams out there offering you for over 4 years. Okay? We know that. Similar money. We know that. We'll keep that to ourselves. Or Fernando may want to say those things, okay? And I know the fact is that you chose to come to a team, okay, that has not won. Has not won. Let's be honest, okay? We have been close to last place the past 3 years. Why would a Pedro Martinez want to come and leave a World Series team to come to a team that has not won? That's a good question. And people say, hey, they're using you. They're using you. They're using you. Fernando, we go way back. We go back from 1986. We go back to Dean Palmer, okay? And I trusted you, and I thank you. Your word was good, okay? Thank you. You were pro, and we appreciate that, okay? That being said, that's the message. That's why we're here today. We believed in this. This is not about, 1 year. This is about landing something that's going to have implication beyond wins and losses in the year 2005, 2006, 2007. Okay? We are going to win, but we're going to win, and we have a plan. And when that's going to happen, I don't know. But we're going to win, and I will tell you this, we're going to win with our young kids, too. We're not going to win by throwing just money in the free agent market. This is a decision that we started, and I just want to say this. Pedro, New York welcomes you. I welcomes you. Willie, I says, you know, you got the opportunity. And I just want to say this is a start. And thank you for coming, everybody. Happy holidays. And thanks.
Willie and Pedro, come on.
Yeah, come on, Willie.
Pedro, let's move. I got to move this one more.
Okay, the other one.
This way?
This side. This side.
Get it out of here. Come on, boy.
Fighting already.
We've been here all day.
1 second, where go?
Wait, Jay, you gotta move that out. Wait, hold on, Jay. We got it. Move up a little bit.
Hey, Bob, come back. Down in front. Down in front, guys.
Gotta watch the wire.
Gil, sit down. I know.
Here for.
They took the microphones away.
Pedro Martinez has yet to speak, but he is about to don a New York Mets cap for the first time. Willie Randolph, his new manager. You just heard from his general manager, Omar Minaya, as the flash bulbs, my goodness, it's like a meeting of paparazzi. As Pedro dons the familiar number 45, a number that you'll probably see on the Hill opening day in Cincinnati, and if not at the Mets home opener on April the 11th, then try April the 13th, because that would have him pitching on what would be that 5-day rotation against the Houston Astros. A very happy, very proud moment in the history of the New York Mets. It is official. Pedro Martinez is one of the men in black. Interesting he's not wearing the pinstripe uniform, but let's not nitpick. Number 45, there he is. Pedro Martinez with the New York Mets after a solid 7-year run with the Boston Red Sox, where he was 117-37. But Pedro does have some National League history, as we all know, with the Dodgers, with the Expos, which we will address later on. It should be noted, by the way, that Pedro's childhood hero was a National Leaguer. Remember Mario Soto from the Cincinnati Reds? He had the fastball and the changeup. Similar pitching style to the new number 45 on the New York Mets. Some interesting comments by General Manager Omar Minaya. Says this signing transcends wins and losses. They wanted to make a statement in the marketplace. They have, and also very interesting that other superstar players, as a result of the Mets dealing with Pedro and signing him, they have called Omar. He didn't name him by name, but he said they have called, claiming that they want to be a New York Met. Pedro Martinez, a 4-year guaranteed $53 million contract. And of course, the never-ending string of flashbulbs as the new Met triumvirate standing front and center in the Diamond Club at Shea Stadium. Pedro, no doubt, will step to the microphone in a few seconds. He speaks 3 languages, by the way: fluent English, fluent Spanish, and French, that he learned during his years when he was with the Montreal Expos. But the language that he speaks best is that of pitching. 182 wins, 76 losses, 705 winning percentage career. That is tops among active major leaguers, as the podium has been put back on its mark. And in a few seconds, we will hear from the newest Met, as you see the hands of Jay Horowitz trying to restore some order in what has to be a raucous Diamond Club out at Shea Stadium this morning. Pedro all smiles, rightfully so. He said no to Boston, and he comes to New York to be a Met.
Thank you very much. I'm a little blind. I hope I can throw a ball, and I can see when I'm gonna throw it. Hey guys, first of all, good morning, everybody. I'm very thankful and very grateful to be part of this new organization. It represents a new challenge to me. I'm very thankful for management, Omar, Tony, everybody that has been behind this. I know it's gonna be tough. I know it's going to be tough, but I'm very glad I made the decision. And Fernando, I know it took a lot of work. On behalf of my family and myself, we would like to thank every one of you that supported us and actually stood behind us. Willie, I know that a lot of people might try to confuse you with a lot of things, but you and I know what we're talking about, and we know how to get along and do things. So I'm looking forward to working in this city. Hopefully not so many cameras the next time around. And not when I'm pitching, not with all those flashes, not in my face like you guys are doing. But I wouldn't mind any other way. So I'm very thankful to the Wilpon family, and hopefully I will do whatever possible to actually give them what they expect and help this team to win. Remember, Boston was there for 86 years, and it seemed like it was going to be forever. And I can say proudly that I was part of that team that won it for Boston, and I want to do the same thing here. I hope I can pull one out and help this team to win. And I don't have words to describe how thankful I am for not only bringing me over here, but the commitment and keeping your word. Omar, you're a true man, and you're a man of your word, and I'm really happy I actually looked at you in the face and made the same commitment, because I can tell that you're a man, and you're a man of your words. So I'm very happy, very thankful, and I hope we can all work together to get better in this new challenge that's coming up. Thank you very much, and I hope everything goes fine from now on.
We have some questions for. Yeah, go ahead. You got you got a camera. I mean, a microphone here.
Good morning, gentlemen. Omar, just to be Lloyd Carroll, Queens Chronicle. Just for the cynical Met fans out there who are saying, here you are having a contract with a guaranteed present value of $50 million, paying for accomplishments prior. You know, Met fans have seen this before. Is there anything you want to say to the cynical Mets fans out there who feel that you're paying for a pitcher who might be past his prime?
Well, what can I say, Loy? All I can say is that I have to look at the record. I'll have to look at the age. He's 33 years old. And, you know, I said this is a signing that is not only about, we feel as a staff that Pedro was the best pitcher on the market. I mean, in recent years, there's been pitchers that have been signed to similar contracts that are older. And if you want to win, I am going to go to war with Pedro Martinez on my team.
This question's for Pedro. Pedro, Tom McDonald, New York 1. What is it that made you decide to leave Boston, where you had had tremendous success, and come to a team like New York and a city like New York that's starving for a winner in the National League? Was it the money?
Well, I was a millionaire since I was 24 years old, first of all, to let you know. When I got to Boston, I was already making millions. I continue to make and live up to my contract in Boston. So you didn't pick up a bump on the streets. No, just to let you know, I made enough. I think it was more of a commitment from this team than it was money, actually. I said he's a man of his word. He gave his word. He said he was going to be aggressive. He wanted to make me a Met and change the tradition that was here and hopefully go for a win, for a championship. Boston, I gave Boston every opportunity to actually get me, not only just in this free agent year, but for 3 years before. I've been trying to let Boston keep me for the rest of my career, and Boston wouldn't pull the trigger. I went beyond my efforts to actually give Boston every opportunity to keep me. Why did they have to wait until the last minute or so? Do I have to sit and wait for anybody else to decide what my future is going to be? Would you? Then I don't see the reason why I should wait Omar showed me, a lot of respect, a lot of commitment, and not only that, he didn't show up with a lot of people. He showed up himself, went to get me in the Dominican and say, hey, I'm gonna try to go get you. If I go get you, would you play for me? I said, well, I'm trying to work my thing with Boston. But if I don't, I'll be more than happy to play for you. And that's the reason I'm here, to help Omar win a championship and help the city of New York and the Mets to actually get a championship on this side of the water.
Pedro, you talked about challenges that you face. What do you consider to be your biggest challenge here besides the media?
Beside the media, I think it's going to be helping this team to get to the playoffs. But like Omar told me, he's going to make all the efforts to put up a competitive team that's going to be able to help me, because I'm not going to do it alone. If you guys are expecting me to do it alone, it's not going to happen. For years in Boston, we had to fight you guys. We had to fight the negativity that was in Boston. And at the very end, the bunch of idiots, like we call each other, finally won it. You know why? Because we stuck together and we were a group that was put together. And beyond every other negativity that was in front of us, we were able to keep that group together in the clubhouse and finally win it.
Well, we gotta have,
En español.
yeah, please, yeah.
Mucho comentario del carácter de Pedro Martínez, Los Ángeles, Montreal, Boston, para los Mets. Simplemente, ¿quién es Pedro Martínez?
Pedro Martínez es un empleado que se toma orgullo en su trabajo, que en realidad se siente súper comprometido con la ciudad, con el equipo, con los dueños y con su gerente. Pedro Martínez es un hombre de su palabra, que en realidad se siente comprometido no solamente como pelotero, sino como hombre también. Y en realidad lo que es Pedro Martínez como persona, a muchos de ustedes le dará brega conocerlo, pero en realidad lo que es como pelotero, la mayoría de ustedes han visto. Y ojalá que Dios me pueda dar la salud para yo poder hacer el resto.
We just wait for the microphone, please.
Pedro, ¿qué tú piensas aquí, llegando a Nueva York, donde está una comunidad muy grande latina? ¿Cómo tú piensas estar con la comunidad latina en general aquí en Nueva York y con la prensa hispana, que es numerosa también?
Bueno, yo espero que la comunidad latina se integre al apoyo que necesita Pedro Martínez y que va a necesitar. Y ojalá que la prensa también pueda, ¿cómo te digo?, unirse a ese grupo de personas que van a darle apoyo a Pedro Martínez y van a hacer algo positivo de lo que Pedro Martínez quiere hacer en la ciudad de Nueva York. Ojalá y que todas las cosas puedan trabajar como yo pienso y que con el mismo optimismo que yo tengo, así se mantenga la prensa, que coopere con lo que nosotros queremos hacer y que las cosas trabajen bien con la ayuda de Dios.
Pedro, over here, Pedro.
Associate candidate, Fox 5 Sports. This is actually for you and for Willie. You touched on the history between you and obviously, yes, that was the Yankees. But was there any mending offenses that need to be done between you and Willie in his past regards with your history with the Red Sox and, of course, with the Yankees and him coming from the Yankees and now he's your manager?
No, not at all. I mean, I was obviously a third base coach when Pedro was competing against us, so I've always had a tremendous amount of respect for him and the way he competes. And no, I mean, listen, he's a great pitcher and makes managers like me look a little smarter. So I'm happy that he's here.
You needed to say or do anything yourself, Pedro?
Well, I spoke to Willie because I know that the way I compete might be misinterpreted sometimes, especially for people that don't play the game. Like you guys that watch from the outside. They might see the look after a strikeout and they might say, well, he's arrogant because he's staring that guy down. I'm actually looking at some of the things that only players can understand. And I've always had a great amount of respect for Willie and for the Yankees as well. But not only Willie in that situation, the players The manager is one of the best, and I respect him a lot. And I actually got to meet management, and I also have respect for them. And I don't have anything bad to say. I never had any problem with Willie. He understands what competition is, and there was nothing to be cleared up between me and Willie. We respect each other. I respect him as a manager, and I hope I can fulfill whatever he expects from me.
Pedro, it's been well documented that you've been a guy who plays by his own rules. Curt Schilling even said this week that you got some preferential treatment in Boston. Can you assure both Omar and Willie that the leaving early or arriving late will not happen here in New York?
Well, first of all, Schilling is not in my program. Schilling doesn't run an hour. Schilling didn't do rehab in 2001 for what I did. I have a very strict way of working. It takes a lot more time than people think. I know why you brought up the question. It's probably because of Game 6 in New York. But I don't know if you have been to the New York clubhouse, visiting clubhouse. There's nothing to do work in there. There's no space. There's nothing to do. The only reason I stayed in Game 6 was because Curt Schilling was doubtful for the next game, and I had to actually stand up and pitch if Derek Lowe wasn't able to make it to where we wanted. And that was something that we couldn't let you know at that time because you guys speculate so much. And you guys are such a hard knock sometimes.
Pedro.
We really, I have a very strict way of working. Willie's aware of it. Omar's aware of it. Whatever Schilling has to say, he can say it. I don't have anything to say about that. He only knows me for one season, one single season. He doesn't know really well what I'm all about and how I work. He doesn't even shows up in my work regimen.
Pedro, bienvenido. Gelson Borrero from El Diario La Prensa, columnist. Staying on the Yankees, quedándonos con los Yankees. ¿Qué pasó con ese equipo? What happened to that team? There's a lot of New Yorkers that wanted you on the other side to be able to face Boston, que queríamos que tuvieras al otro lado para que te enfrentaras a Boston. ¿Qué pasó? ¿No te trataron con el respeto que te trató Omar y los Mets? Didn't they treat you with the kind of respect that Omar and the Mets gave you? What happened with the Yankees? You explained what happened with Boston. What happened with the Yankees?
What happened with the Yankees was that at the time when we met, they were very impressed. They treated me well. I treated them with the same respect. And I let my agent do the work after that. I didn't know who I was going to meet with the next time. And Omar took over. The other teams that got in between it took over. And I let it happen to my agent. I leave it in my agent's hand. So after that, I would just talk to my agent, and whoever came up, came up.
Pedro, over here. Pedro, you started 33 games last year, which tied a career high. Yet in the offseason, everything seemed to center on your shoulder. Why do you think that is?
Because of the crap that you guys have been talking. Next question.
Pedro. You had a little guy in Boston as your good luck charm. I was wondering if you're looking for anybody.
That was just a trick. I believe you build your own luck. I believe you work, and you have a hard way to work and make things happen.
All right. Same here, man. Yeah.
Thank you.
Pedro.
Because of the fierce competition in the past between, Boston and the Yankees and you being on those teams, did you have a hesitation to come play in New York at all? Did you have any hesitation?
If you made it through in Boston, such a small city where you can't run anywhere, you can't hide from anybody, you should be able to make it here. Here, at least you have the Yankees. Some of the players over there will take some of the attention. Over here, we can take some of the attention away. You have places to go, and I'm going to be in the National League. So I know some of the cities are going to be more laid back, and I feel comfortable. I feel comfortable doing it here, and I hope I can do whatever I have to do to actually stay happy and healthy around here.
Pedro, you've been called public enemy number one. You've been listed as a
From
punk by New York.
From New York?
You've
From
been
you,
on the
probably.
back page of a paper now as a punk. My question for you is, do you think you can win the fans over?
I don't know, but I'm going to try. And I have that opportunity. But people that are thinking negative and actually thinking that they're going to make me look bad, you guys have the power of the pen. You guys have enough to talk about, and I don't see why. I've never gotten a ticket. I've never been in jail. I don't know why would I be in bad shape with the city. I work with the community, and I'm willing to work with the community. So whoever calls me like that, I would just take the words from where they come from.
Pedro, I want to say this because there's another side to that question. Yes, there are some people that don't like you. They don't like you because you beat them. Today, there's a lot of New York Mets fans here that don't see him as a public enemy. They see him as one of their own. So let's make sure that that question, it's, yes, you're right, but there's a lot of New Yorkers here, Pedro, that love you, that want you, okay? So this city is welcoming you, even though there is a part of this city, a segment of this city, that may call you that, but there's a lot of parts of the city in Queens, then all over the city that love you. So it's not only public enemy for one side. The beautiful thing about this city is that we have two major league clubs, not one.
Pedro? Just give me the last question back there. Pedro, while it's a great day for New York and for the Mets, it's a sad day for the Red Sox. So what do you say to the fans back in Boston, the team back in Boston, as you officially leave?
Whew. That's a hard one. You really touched my sub part here. When you talk about the fans in Boston, it's really important that everybody knows here that even though I'm here in New York, I have all the love and respect for those fans and for the people in Boston. It is too bad I couldn't work it out. I tried. I gave everything I had. I gave every people in Boston every opportunity to keep me there, and they couldn't do it. I don't know why we couldn't work it out. But, you know, as of now, I have a new beginning. I have to go forward. They understand that I have a life and that I need to go on with my career, and I'm going to do that. I'm going to just try to be what I was for them. The only thing is in a new place. And I feel deeply touched and sorry for the fans in Boston and for so much tradition and a great city. I can only say I will always love them, and I hope I can somehow, some other time, pay my tribute to them.
Okay, hey, we're going to start the one-on-ones, the group sessions. Willie and Rick Peters.
Oh, quite a scene out at Shea Stadium. A man who has been a big part of New York baseball history now comes to New York City to try to make baseball history. Pedro Martinez is officially a Met, and from his comments, it seems like Omar Minaya was obviously one of the deciding figures, or maybe even the deciding figure in this whole drama. As he said, Omar is a man of his word. He came alone to Santo Domingo to talk to him about possibly becoming a New York Met, and Pedro in turn gave him his word. If he can't work it out with the Boston Red Sox, then he would come to New York, which he has done. And curious remarks about the Boston Red Sox and why did I have to wait until the last minute. Boston knew what he could do. He thought that they were lacking in the respect department when they tried to string it along and work it on their timetable. Pedro Martinez obviously had other things on his mind and is now a member of the New York Mets. We'll hear from Pedro in a few moments. Matt Lachlan out at Shea Stadium with the new number 45 on the Mets, actually the second Pedro Martinez to pitch in the history of the New York Mets. Remember Pedro A? Well, before the years with Boston, of course, there were years in Montreal. A much younger Pedro Martinez pitched to a 55-33 mark in Montreal, where Felipe Alou was his manager there, who told him about the dad that he never saw, was a semi-pro pitcher. Pedro Martinez standing by at Shea Stadium with our Matt Lachlan.
Bill, thank you very much. We're here with the newest Met, Pedro Martinez. Pedro, you said the decision to sign with the Mets was more about commitment than the money. Beyond the commitment to you, what other commitments did Omar make about what this team will hold, and why did you, in the end, decide to sign here?
Well, because Omar promised me that after I was part of this team, he was going to put out a good team, a team that was going to compete and try to win. I won in Boston, and after so many years without winning, it was a great moment for me. It was one of the highlights in my career, probably the biggest highlight of my career. And I want to have the same feeling and the same type of challenge around here. And I trust Omar on his words, and I trust what he's going to do with this team, and hopefully be part of the other team that's going to win it over here.
You addressed Willie Randolph and said, Willie, people are going to try to confuse you about things, put things in your mind. Do you feel that your personality, your approach to the game has been mischaracterized about needing special treatment or being handled in a special way?
It's very, very misjudged. A lot of people don't really understand what I do because I don't talk that much. I don't like to talk about me. I don't like to say what I do. I have a workout regimen that's very different than everybody else, and I'm very different than anybody else. And a lot of people might not understand that. They don't play the game, but Willie does, and so does Omar. People that are in and understand how we do things. Roger has his own program. Randy Johnson had his own program. Nolan Ryan had his own program. So we all work differently, and I must do my workout regimen in a different way than normal people would do it.
All right, now you obviously had an MRI. The Mets were pleased with what it showed. What is the condition of your right arm and shoulder?
The conditions are pretty much the same. What the doctor told me he saw is unbelievable. And you know, after I did my rehab, which is the reason I must be so strict with my regimen, everything has been up. And the same way I feel the same way. I feel stronger, I feel better, and hopefully it will continue on, even though I have to do so much work and do things differently.
Pedro, bienvenidos a Nueva York, and thank you.
Muchas gracias.
Pedro Martinez joining us here. Bill Daughtry, we go back to you at MSG Sports Desk.
You know what we're going to try.
Thank you very much, Matt Lachlan. As we said, a career winning percentage of .705. That is #1 among active major league pitchers. He's 10th among active major league pitchers with 182 wins. Curiously enough, Curt Schilling just ahead of him at 184, but I got a feeling Pedro's going to pass him this year. Pedro Martinez is a New York Met. At 33, a legitimate question. How much does he have left in the tank? Well, Met fans will find out over the next 4 years. More on this big day at Shea later tonight on MSG Sports Desk. Thanks for being with us.